Hey everybody, I'm here to talk to you about the conflicts of interest with Trump's cryptocurrency business. And I'm going to start by saying that he's said more than once to reporters that he's put his assets into a trust that is overseen by some big institution somewhere. He has nothing to do with it. That would be called a blind trust, which is what U.S. presidents normally do with their assets. But Trump didn't do that. He actually put his assets in a revocable trust that his kids have access to, and Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump are actually handling his assets and investments. They're also running the Trump Organization. Okay, even White House spokeswoman Anna Kelly, when asked about this, she said, now, first, Trump, well, he only does what's in the best interests of the country. But she said, yeah, his assets are in a trust that is controlled by his children. So even she said it's controlled by his children, which will present a conflict of interest with our country. Now, every president every year has to put in a disclosure report to the U.S. Office of Government Ethics, detailing what they earned the prior year. Here's the front page. Trump's disclosure forms were 926 pages long. So you can see there he signed it. Here's a couple of samples. This shows some of the crypto business. Thousands and thousands of trades are listed. In this disclosure form, it showed he was paid $263 million for selling 49% of his stake in the Trump family crypto business called World Liberty Financial. They launched World Liberty Financial in September of 2024, 7 weeks before the election. They did it with Steve Witkoff, a longtime friend of Trump's. He's a longtime real estate friend, and Trump appointed him Middle East envoy, of course, because he has no experience doing that. He's also the envoy to Russia. He's the one we always see meeting with Putin. So the $263 million Trump got paid was part of a $500 million deal. Sheikh Tamim bin Zayed Al Nahyan from United Arab Emirates. He's the brother of the president of the United Arab Emirates, and he is also the national security advisor, and he also oversees all their investments in their sovereign wealth fund. So he's one of the most powerful investors in the world. He oversees over $1.5 trillion. United Arab Emirates, and I'll just say UAE for short, the UAE for years has wanted our most powerful artificial intelligence chips. When I say our, I mean United States. But our country has been blocking the sale of any of our AI chips to the UAE for national security reasons, because they have had such strong ties to the Chinese, including the Chinese government, Chinese military, and such. So at one point, the Commerce Secretary of the U.S. Back in 2023 told Sheikh Tamim, you have to make a choice between either us or China. So he eventually said, I choose you, the U.S. So one of the companies he runs, it's an investment company into AI investments. It's called Group 42. We'll call it G42 for short. So again, G42 is a UAE investment firm run by Sheikh Tamim. Sheikh Tamim had strong ties to the Chinese firm that was sanctioned here in the U.S. called Huawei. Huawei's routers and other technology ran the companies like G42. So he said Sheikh Tamim said he would cut ties in 2023 with China and then replace the routers with Western equipment and so on. even if he did completely cut ties between G42 and China, the rest of his business empire, including a company called MDX, still has really strong ties with China. So it's really a national security issue not to give him the chips. So he was trying to curry favor by writing a check for $500 million to buy 49% interest in World Liberty Financial. And this happened on January 16th, 2025, 4 days before the Trump inauguration. Now, a day after the inauguration, which is 5 days after this $500 million deal, Trump held a special meeting in the Oval Office with all kinds of AI billionaires from around the world, and they were announcing a big $500 billion investment into AI data center stuff. And MDX, the Sheikh Tanium company, was added at the last second as an investor, but of course he was, because he just wrote the Trump family a $500 million check 5 days prior to this. $263 million, like I say, went to Trump of that deal, and then $62 million went to the Witkoff family. Another $62 million went to two other co-founders, and then the remaining $100 million plus went to more Trump family members. Now, this disclosure form also showed that Trump earned $635 million in meme coin royalties. They have set up a company called Celebration Coins, which handles the sale of the meme coins, and then another crypto business called CIC Digital, which is under the Trump Organization umbrella. So they handled the income from the meme coins. So the Celebration Coins charged the the $635 million from the people that bought the coins, and then that money was transferred to CIC Digital. Anyways, while Trump was making $635 million last year off the meme coins, 988,905 investors lost a combined $3.81 billion because the Trump meme coin went from $75.35 in January of 2025 to a month ago, in June 30th, it was sitting at $1.72. So it dropped, 95% or whatever. And then the other coin, WLFI, the symbol is actually $WLFI. That coin went from 45 cents a coin to 5 cents a coin. It was 45 cents last August, and now it's 5 cents. So a lot of people lost the majority of their money. Now, in December of 2024, the month after the election, Steve Witkoff flew to Abu Dhabi, and he told the Biden administration that he was going to go to Abu Dhabi and he was going to meet with some Middle Eastern dignitaries to start working on diplomacy, but at the same time he was doing private crypto business. He met, he met with Eric Trump there in Abu Dhabi, and he also met with Sheikh Tanium, and he also met with the Binance founder Changpeng Zhao, and his girlfriend Li He, who also co-founded Binance. Binance at the time was the largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world. Now, Binance was having a lot of trouble because Changpeng Zhao had been charged and convicted in 2023 on money laundering, violating money laundering laws, He served a 4-month prison sentence. He got out of prison in September of 2024 and then flew home to Abu Dhabi. So he wanted to do a favor. After Trump won the election, he set up a working group in Binance to set up meetings with Trump allies to see if they could do a business deal with World Liberty Financial to curry favor with Trump, so hopefully he could get a pardon. He needed a pardon not only to clear his record, but so Binance would be clear to being able to set up shop here in the U.S. again and in Europe. So in March of 2025, Sheikh Tanum met with Steve Witkoff and Trump in the Oval Office. Then in April, the next month, Zach Witkoff, the son of Steve Witkoff, Zach Witkoff is the 33-year-old CEO of World Liberty Financial, and he went to Dubai to a big crypto conference and announced at the end of April that MDX, a Sheikh Tanum company there in the UAE, was going to make a $2 billion investment into a minority equity stake in Binance. But he was going to do that using the World Liberty stablecoin called USD1. And then next thing you know, in May, MDX makes a $2 billion purchase of the stablecoin USD1 from World Liberty Financial, and then uses those stablecoins to make the $2 billion investment into Binance. This really gave a massive boost to World Liberty Financial. At that time, they had only raised $82 million selling WLF coins, but so that shot the stable coin USD1 from a market capitalization of $127 million to over $2.1 billion, and also this $2 billion cash pile sits in reserves at World Liberty Financial, and they buy treasuries with it, and then off that money they can earn about over $80 million a year in interest, and they get to keep that interest. Next thing you know, not too long after that deal is when the Trump administration approved the sale of 500,000 of our most highly guarded AI chips to the United Arab Emirates. 20% of those chips were slated to go directly to G42, the Emirati company with the strong ties in the past to China. Now, let me just look on here. So the couple months, let's see, the Trump administration, and they are going to promise up to these 500,000 chips every year. And the thing is, like I said before, Sheikh Tanum wants to build one of the biggest AI data center clusters in the world. And something comparable here in the U.S., Facebook has a 200, it has a big data center in Louisiana. I'm not sure if it's still being constructed or not. It's the size of 2 Manhattans, and it's going to require 200,000 of these type of chips. So there's going to be more than enough chips to build what Sheikh Tanum wants to build. Now, Sheikh Tanum already had business ties to the Trump family by way of Jared Kushner, because the Saudis, Emiratis, and Qataris had made investments into Jared Kushner's affinity partners back when Trump's first term ended. But right before this last election, Sheikh Tanum got together with Qatar, and they raised another $1.5 billion to give to the affinity partners, Jared Kushner's investment firm. So that just increases the conflict of interest there. The the company that made the $500 million investment into World Liberty Financial is called Aryan Investment One. That's again another Sheikh Tamim Emirati company. Well, shortly before they made that investment, two entities were registered in Delaware and in the Abu Dhabi. They were both called Arium Investment One, but the ownership was not revealed. But then in the records of the company showed that the executives of G42 were running Arium Investment One. So it's just a whole tangled spider web. Now, let's see. So I'm going to mention Martin Edelman is G42's general counsel and top Tanun advisor. He signed the $500 million deal along with Peng Zhao. Peng Zhao is the CEO of G42. The deal also included Royal Group, which is Sheikh Tamim's personal investment group. Now, after that $500 million deal on January 16th, 2025, Martin Edelman and Peng Zhao of G42 joined World Liberty's board of directors, and they were instrumental in lobbying the Trump administration for those AI chips. Edelman is a top real estate lawyer in New York City who spent his whole career developing relationships in the UAE, and he advises the royal family and sits on the boards of multiple Tanun companies. The Chinese-born Peng Zhao personally came under scrutiny on January 9th, 2024, when a Republican congressman named Mike Gallagher, who's at the time was chairman of the House Select Committee on the Chinese Communist Party, he sent a letter to the Commerce Department asking them to investigate Zhao. In the letter, it said that there were documents that Zhao was behind an expansive network of UAE and China-based companies supporting Chinese military, civil fusion, and human rights abuses. I will read some excerpts of that letter at the end of the video. Some legal experts say that this all looks like a violation of the Foreign Emoluments Clause, which it is. Now, I might also mention, I don't think I mentioned, but when that $2 billion investment was made into World Liberty's stablecoin, it boosted the stablecoin up the list of worldwide stablecoins. It became the fifth most valuable stablecoin quickly. It gave it a lot of clout and for more investors to invest. Also, Binance, another favor to the Trump family, Binance set up its platforms to trade with the USD1 stablecoin from World Liberty. Another side note, Samuel Kim, Binance's compliance chief in 2018, told Changpeng Zhao in October 2018 that Binance had users from sanctioned countries, and as early as 2019, law enforcement officials were gathering information on Zhao. Zhao was reluctant to require users to provide any identifying information, which opened the door to criminals and users who wanted a way around U.S. sanctions. Binance also misused customer funds, diverting them to a Zhao-controlled trading entity called Sigma Chain, which engaged in manipulative trading that made Binance's volume appear larger than it actually was, according to the Securities and Exchange Commission. So let's see. Also, it's important to keep in mind that when Binance pleaded guilty in 2023 to violating anti-money laundering rules, The government said Zhao, that's Changpeng Zhao, the founder of Binance, the government said Zhao had caused significant harm to U.S. national security by allowing sanctioned crypto exchanges, Russian drug traffickers, Hamas militants, and other criminal groups to move billions of dollars through the exchange. And keep in mind, Trump pardoned this guy who caused much damage to our national security. Before the March 25 launch of World Liberty's dollar-pegged cryptocurrency, USD1, I think I already mentioned this, but I lose track, but Binance deployed a team of over a dozen engineers to build the technology at World Liberty for the currency USD1. So Binance built the technology for the World Liberty stablecoin USD1. Another conflict of interest. And not only, let's see. Now, another tycoon, crypto tycoon Justin Sun, purchased $30 million of the WLFI tokens from World Liberty after the election in November 2024. Then after the inauguration, the Securities and Exchange Commission paused a fraud case against Justin Sun, because Justin Sun was battling the SEC in a fraud case. So basically he paid the Trump family $30 million after he was elected, and then Trump called the SEC to call the court to pause the case. In October 2024, World Liberty hired, and this is 1 month after World Liberty was formed, they hired one of Changpeng Zhao's close friends, Rich Teo, who ran a Binance stablecoin product that was shut down by a New York regulator. That's great. So now I need to mention that Binance paid a lobbyist who's good friends with Donald Trump Jr. His name is Chess McDowell. Binance paid him $450,000 in the first 9 months of 2025 to push for a pardon for Changpeng Zhao and on the crypto issues. Zhao left prison in, like I say, in September of 2024. And like I said, Binance has incentivized trading in the World Liberty stablecoin USD1 across the platforms it controls. That's a huge favor to the Trump family. In March of 2025, Trump also pardoned Arthur Hayes, a co-founder of the crypto exchange BitMEX, who had pleaded guilty to violating anti-money laundering laws. Now, let's see, I don't want to repeat myself, so we'll go, okay, yeah, we already mentioned Secretary Gina Raimondo. Now, the crypto firm, I think I mentioned the Commerce Secretary at the time, Gina Raimondo, told Sheikh Tanum there's a one strike and you're out policy, so choose either the US or China. But the crypto analytical firm Nansen traced transactions of Trump's meme coin through a digital ledger or blockchain, and that's how we know as of June 30th that 988,905 buyers of the Trump meme coin have lost $3.81 billion. Let's see, so the company is World Liberty Financial has also pitched its token to foreign governments that are eager to improve their relations with the U.S. People who have dealt with the company said Zach Witkoff met in Pakistan with some of the same top government officials who later negotiated with the Trump administration over a ceasefire with India. He told these Pakistani officials that world liberty could use blockchain technology to tokenize buying and selling of minerals. Simultaneously, Pakistan actually happens to have been in talks to strike a rare earth and other minerals deal with the U.S., potentially worth trillions of dollars. Another conflict of interest. Also, shortly after Trump was elected, he moved to roll back government oversight of the crypto industry. As of May 22, 2025, the SEC has paused or dismissed more than a dozen cases against crypto companies, including the one against Justin Sun. In early 2025, Pakistan's finance minister Muhammad Aurangzeb ordered the creation of a national crypto council to oversee the drafting of crypto regulations in the hopes of attracting investors. A Pakistani tech entrepreneur named Bilal bin Saqib was appointed the head of this council in April 2025. In April 2025, Pakistan signed a deal to pay $200,000 a month to a lawyer and to an advisor close to Trump. This was Keith Schiller, Trump's former bodyguard, and George Sorio, a former Trump Organization lawyer. So Pakistan was paying them $200,000 a month, and this was done in the pursuit of establishing a long-term economic partnership with the U.S., specifically related to rare earth and critical minerals. I'm not sure how Trump's bodyguard knows anything about rare earth minerals, but whatever. It's a way for him to get paid $200,000 a month. And then also, World Liberty named Bilal bin Saqib the Pakistani entrepreneur. World Liberty named him an advisor, so he's now on the board with World Liberty. On April 26, 2026, Zach Wickoff signed a memorandum of understanding that the ministry said would allow World Liberty to help position Pakistan as a global crypto leader and use its stablecoin for remittances and trade. At the end of April 2025, Zach Wickoff and Eric Trump appeared at the Token 2049 conference in Dubai, where they announced the $2 billion investment by Binance. In May of 2025, that's Changpeng Zhao, the founder of Binance, traveled to Kyrgyzstan, where he met with the president and formally joined the country's National Crypto Council. Also, shortly after Trump was elected in March of 2025, the Trump administration quickly loosened regulations on crypto. The Justice Department paused its corporate monitorships and disbanded its cryptocurrency unit, which had been key in bringing the 2023 case against Binance. So they disbanded the unit that was key to preserving our national security, because, like our government said, Changpeng Zhao and Binance did severe damage to our national security with all the money laundering with the world's worst criminals. At the time, Binance still had both a treasury monitor and a justice monitor. The crypto tycoons that previous administrations pursued for helping the U.S. government's enemies move their funds, including Russian sanctions evaders, Islamic terrorist groups, Mexican drug cartels, global fraud rings, and others. These crypto tycoons that enabled all the worst criminals on the planet are now doing business with the president and the members of his inner circle. Conflict of interest. Trump also, I think I already mentioned, but Trump also pardoned BitMEX exchange co-founder Arthur Hayes, who pleaded guilty to violating the same anti-money laws as Changpeng Zhao of Binance. Justin's son, who I already mentioned, had a fraud case dropped against him because he made a $30 million investment into World Liberty's stablecoin. He is the founder of the Tron blockchain network. And according to blockchain researcher TRM Labs, more than half of all the illicit crypto activity last year took place on the Tron blockchain network to the tune of $26 billion. So $26 billion in illicit crypto activity took place on Justin Sun's Tron blockchain. But he is now an advisor to World Liberty Financial. Let's see. So we're going to talk about so approximately two-thirds of investors into Trump's meme coins are currently in the red. According to crypto data provider Nansen, which tracks 1.48 million crypto wallets that bought the token since its January 2025 debut, Nansen's research of 26,663 wallets shows that 85% of World Liberty's WLFI token buyers in the secondary market are underwater. A few days before his inauguration, Trump launched his meme coin Trump, which peaked at $15 billion in market valuation. Since then, it has plunged 97% to a $400 million market capitalization today. That's the one that fell from $75.35 down to $1.72. So most investors have lost all their money. Kedrick Payne is Senior Director of Ethics at the Campaign Legal Center, an ethics watchdog group. He said, "We have never seen a president have direct conflicts of interest with his financial holdings and the policies he supports." And that's true. Also, between the election and the inauguration for Trump's first term, that's the transition period, Trump met with at least 8 crypto executives, collecting more than $50 million in donations for his inaugural fund and related groups. Pro-Trump groups received over $16 million from crypto executives during the 2024 election campaign, and super PACs backed by the crypto industry spent more than $130 million on pro-crypto congressional candidates in both parties. Now I'm going back to that letter sent by the congressman to the Commerce Department, and I'm going to just read directly from the letter. This is the letter. On January 9th, 2024, the then chairman of the U.S. House of Representatives Select Committee on the Chinese Communist Party was a Republican congressman named Mike Gallagher from Wisconsin. He sent a letter to Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo. This letter raised concerns with her about export control risks for Emirati artificial intelligence firm Group 42. Remember, Group 42 Holdings is that Emirati company controlled by Sheikh Tamim, and their extensive business relationships with Chinese military companies, state-owned entities, and the People's Republic of China intelligence services. The letter calls on Commerce to closely examine G42 and its subsidiaries for inclusion on the Bureau of Industry and Security Entity List. Chairman Gallagher wrote, according to documents reviewed by the committee, G42's CEO Peng Xiao operates and is affiliated with an expansive network of UAE and People's Republic of China-based companies that develop dual-use technologies and materially support PRC, People's Republic of China, is PRC, military, civil fusion, and human rights abuses. The Select Committee's investigation also found that G42 maintains relationships with blacklisted entities including Huawei and Beijing Genomics Institute. It also found that multiple U.S. companies that developed and sell export-controlled technology and products maintain extensive commercial relationships with G42 and its subsidiaries, to include Microsoft, Dell, and OpenAI, which leaves these companies susceptible to the Communist Chinese Party direct IP theft, CCP direct IP theft. It also found that G42 linked companies and executives are affiliated with the PRC scientists who stole millions of dollars of American military-funded research from UCLA in order to create a new People Republic China government laboratory in Beijing. The letter raises concerns that he could also steal American technology research on behalf of G42. Group 42 is an Emirati artificial intelligence company that works extensively with the PRC's military, intelligence services, and state-owned entities. CEO is Peng Xiao. G42's key investors are the Abu Dhabi Sovereign Wealth Fund, Mubadala, along with U.S. private equity firm Silver Lake. According to documents reviewed by the committee, G42's CEO Peng Xiao operates and is affiliated with an expansive network of UAE and PRC-based networks that develop the dual-use technologies and materially support PRC military, civil fusion, and human rights abuses. For example, Xiao served in leadership positions with Pegasus, which is a subsidiary of an Emirati company called Dark Matter. Dark Matter is a corporate affiliate of G42 and develops spyware and surveillance tools that can be used to spy on dissidents, journalists, politicians, and U.S. companies. According to The Wire China, Pegasus opened a subsidiary in China called Pegasus Technology Beijing, where Xiao serves as the executive director. Many of the tools developed by Pegasus and Dark Matter are subject to export controls. The U.S. Department of State has even fined former American employees of Dark Matter for violations of the Arms Export Control Act. The Commerce Bureau of Industry and Security has failed to place any restrictions on Dark Matter, G42, or their affiliated companies. This puts at risk hardware and software developed by U.S. companies because these technologies could be diverted to G42's People Republic of China-based affiliates, many of which support the Chinese Communist Party's surveillance, state, and human rights abuses. G42 maintains active relationships with blacklisted entities, including Huawei and Beijing Genomics Institute. Again, this letter was written on January 9th, 2024. So, since then, Peng Xiao did claim that G42 severed ties with China, but the thing is, all of the Sheikh Tanum, the UAE investor in charge of $1.5 trillion worth of investments, Sheikh Tanum's other companies in his business empire still maintain their strong business ties to China. So that's a national security problem to us. But so this was probably kind of boring to listen to, but it's frustrating to me to see what's going on in our government and to see all this conflict of interest, and it's almost like being a traitor to our country, for our president to take all this money to personal companies and then in return make decisions for our government that's that's jeopardizes our national security. I don't know. It's very disturbing to me. So again, and I had to rush through this because my camera shuts down sometimes early, but I don't know. I mean, look, there's his disclosure form, 926 pages. And then I didn't even touch on the stock market trades. Making trades and then making announcements on his Truth Social his social media platform, and then making money off of his posts. Now starting August 1st, yesterday, he's selling memberships where you can pay $100,000 a month to get his social media posts before he actually posts them, so you can make stock trades, and then that'll benefit you. I mean, this is complete insanity. But yeah, I have concern for our country. That's why I made this video. Like I say, it was probably boring to watch, but it's boring to go through pages and pages of this type of information, this letter. But yeah, I mean, you know, getting a $500 million investment from Sheikh Tamim of the UAE, and then approving selling them 500,000 chips of our most highly guarded chips. Of course, it helped that he also made a $2 billion investment into World Liberty by buying $2 billion of their stable coin and then using that to make an investment in Binance. But it's a huge spider web of conflicts of interest. I mean, I was going to get my whiteboard and draw stuff, but it's just I could just draw a spider web. That's what it is. It's just such a tangled mess. And I mean, these guys are sitting on the boards of Trump's private companies, and then he's making decisions that benefits from where they're from. I mean, it's just, I don't even know what to say anymore, but I guess that's all I'll say for now. So I hope this wasn't too boring, but I hope you got something out of it. So, and also I would love to hear what you all think about this. So thank you and have a good night.